Hi guys, and welcome to another video here on RamuneGaming. Today we're going to be talking about EA's conference at E3 2016. So this year, another pointless year for EA really. They struggled quite a lot, unfortunately, with a lot of things. They had a lot of it was basically sports, but then they didn't really detail things enough, so there was a lot of rubbish. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. But yeah, it's just wasn't a great start to E3. So on the plus side, it's good to know that other conferences will be better regardless of how hard they try. So that's something, I guess. It's knocking them down to bring them back up later with better conferences. So that's good news. But first off, they had Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 looked really cool. I like what they're doing. I know they had a lot of issues on their last game because they didn't have a single player and people were moaning that it was multiplayer only. I feel this was true. The original obviously didn't have a lot of depth because it was multiplayer only. So they're trying to show. They showed off a lot of like single player, trying to get hype for that. But to me, it felt like something that's going to be really short, and the main feature is going to be the multiplayer. So it's kind of like Call of Duty in a sense, but it just felt like the story wasn't going to be that long. I can almost guarantee you the story is going to be like maybe 6-7 hours, if that, and that's being generous. But it was kind of a cool idea. It's sort of like the time when robots gain sentience and the ability to think on their own, which is cool in general. And then they showed off quite a lot of the multiplayer as well, and the multiplayer seemed kind of the same. The biggest feature they had was like I don't know why I did that. It's like Spider-Man, but they had a grappling hook, which is kind of reminded me of the one in Overwatch that's used by Widowmaker. But yeah, overall it was cool to see. It's nice to know that they're listening to their fans. I just hope they can deliver a single player which the fans demanded in such a good quality that it actually makes this a decent game. I mean, I don't really want them to make like tons of these because it just feels like Call of Duty crossed with, I don't know, like Halo or something. But because I mean, even like Call of Duty, you have like the free running and stuff like that now, and you can double jump with jets, and so they're very similar in how they play. The only difference, obviously, being the Titans themselves. But they did also mention, something I should mention, is they're going to be adding a lot of new variety of Titans. So some of the Titans have like swords and stuff now, so it just adds up to more ferried gameplay, which is neat. But it's nice to know they are listening to their fans. After this though, this is where it started going downhill. So after this, they showed off the new NFL 17, and just no details at all. Like, this is one of the things that I'm not really big into sports, but NFL for me is a very interesting game series because I know how American football works. It's actually one of the sports I know about. Even though I don't watch it, I know because I've learned the rules. And I know there's a lot of improvements that can be made with this sort of game. And it's great. It's great to know that they can do that. But they just didn't show it. It's like they're like, oh, hey, we got the new NFL. We're going to show you a little teaser with pretty much no gameplay. But hey, you know, we're going to keep you guessing to see what's new. But essentially it's going to be the same as usual. There will be better graphics, more dynamic physics engine most likely. But the biggest thing for me in NFL updates is how complex they can make the plays feel, how complex the plays are and how realistic they can make them to real life. And because there's just so many options, so many plays that they have in American football, I know there's still ones they haven't added. I know there's ones that they're limited on because of technology. And it's starting to get to that point where technology isn't becoming an issue anymore. So hopefully we'll see that. But we don't know because they didn't say anything. They just said, like, hey, here's NFL. And then they briefly went on to say that right now at E3, there's going to be a tournament of the highest, proest NFL players in the esports competitions, and it just put on this tons of like E3 sport players. I mean, that's neat and all, that's cool, but why are you spending like 10 minutes talking about this competition that just didn't feel like it fit in the conference, and not talk about the game. But on the plus side, this means that on the shop floor, they'll probably have some gameplay when they're doing the competition and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see that later in the week, or particularly today, because I'm recording this on Monday. I'm sure they'll have some gameplay or something on Monday. But yeah, it's just a disappointment, really. I'm sure people who like esports, that's fine. But one thing I liked about this was they had like all the people taking part in the competition on the stage, and they were showing a video, and they didn't know where to go, and like the camera was just panned out watching them as the screen was transitioning, and they were just like, some of them went left, some of them went right, and they were kind of like confused, and the presenter walked off stage without them. It was really like funny to watch. That's a bad thing to say, I know, but clearly not scripted, but not practiced enough, because it felt like they just pulled on the players without letting them know, like sort of last minute sort of thing. But after this, let's check my notes. After this, they showed Mass Effect Andromeda. There you go, got there. It looks really cool, actually. As a non-Mass Effect player who has not played any of the games, I'm actually inspired to go try the new games. I mean, the old games, my bad. Because of this one. And there wasn't a lot of details, but at the same time, it was really cool to see a really polished looking game where the focus is, rather than what we've seen in 1, 2, and 3, from what I've heard, it's more you're in a very distant galaxy, way past where the Milky Way is and so on, and just really like light years away. It's a new galaxy, it's new planets, it's new species. It's essentially, you're the alien, you're the one invading that galaxy. Well, you're not invading, but like you're inserting yourself in that galaxy in a way that everything will be foreign to the player. And I really like that. And it seemed there was like a few shots of like a lot of ships and stuff, so I'm not sure they got some sort of space battle system or something in this one, 'cause I know there isn't in the others. Because obviously in the other ones you had the Andromeda. No, Normandy. That's it. Someone told me last night. Normandy. But you don't really get to really control it, and that's sort of like your hub world sort of thing. So I don't know if they're trying to plan space battles, but that would be really cool. You know, I'm always up for games adding new features and gameplay mechanics if it adds to the richness of the universe. And as a space game, having space battles is a big deal. It really is. I mean, you've got like things like Elite Dangerous and Starship Citizen, or whatever it's called. So, you know, it's really cool to see this. And they showed a lot of gameplay in the montage, where like you can see like the player going around. There's a bit where he does like a stomp on the ground. It just looked really polished, and I definitely, for one, will be going and checking out 1 and 2 because of what I saw here. It's just a shame, again, they did that thing where they don't really talk about what they're showing. They're just going, hey, here's a thing, and then they go on about how, oh yeah, our team's really like enthusiastic and it's gonna be great and we can't wait to see you enjoy this game, yada yada. Some of that bullshit that no one really cares about. Just give us details. We already know you're a publisher, you're a business. We don't need you to try to pretend to like us. We know you don't like us. We know you're a business. But yeah, you know, it's like, just show details, tell deals, show footage, show gameplay, and you're solid. It's not that hard, EA. After this, this is where I believe, let me see, is this, yeah. So in the next segment is the most boring and most annoying segment of the EA conference. This was when they showed the new FIFA. I don't know what it's called. I think it was 17. Usually they just do the years, right? So this was about 20 minutes of them talking about FIFA, but it was a lot of, hey, here's this one cool new feature for like 5 minutes, and then the other 15 minutes was just like, Oh, but we're adding managers that no one asked for, that add no depth to the game, but hey, they're there. And I'm sure one or two of those football fans will know who they are. But the biggest thing, going back to the thing where I said it was 5 minutes or so, they had a footballer come out. I believe his name was Alex Hunter. No clue who he is. There's a reason for this. So he comes out, he has this really awe-inspiring speech. He's like, it's your life. It's your game. Your choices matter. And if you come with us, or come with me, I can show you. And then he just like held everyone hostage, like, come with me. You don't get a choice. Follow me. And then like he runs off the stage. And then the big reveal is FIFA now has a single player side of things, which I guess adds more depth to the game. It's called Journey. But what I really hated about this was there was this whole speech. They got this footballer about talking about your life, talking about your decisions, and then it's just basically a story mode around this footballer called Alex Hunter. I'm hoping I'm remembering his name right, because I could be getting his name wrong. So apologies on that front if I am. But yeah, it's just basically the journey of Alex Hunter through the story. You do control him, but it doesn't feel like it's your decisions, your life. It's pre-scripted story and stuff. I'm sure maybe there might be a bunch of buff if you lose certain games in I don't know the game. I'm not really a FIFA fan, so I do apologise on that front. I'm sure they're great games. I'm sure they have their target audience. It's just not for me. But yeah, so the reason why no one knew who this footballer was, and I've spoke to some football players as well about this. Not even them knew who it was. It's actually a footballer who, from what I can understand, hasn't debuted yet. So it's like no one knew. But that's kind of neat to know that a footballer is debuting at E3. That's kind of neat. I mean, again, I'm not really big into sports, but that's kind of neat, you know. It's fan flair, you know. It's fan service, but it's great. I love stuff like that. It's just a nice thing. But yeah, then they just went on about managers, and they had this like really awkward thing where they bought one of the managers that they obviously made in the game. But he didn't really speak a lot of English, and you could really tell he had a script he was practicing backstage or whatever, and it felt like he was struggling to do the responses on time with actually in the time of the conversation. But no, it was really cool to see. The story mode, just a shame the rest was rubbish. It was just them going on and on and on about, we want FIFA to be the best. We're going to add better ball physics. We're going to add better graphics, better weather systems. And then it's just like, I'm pretty sure you said that every year at your conference, EA. I mean, I understand there's not a lot to talk about when you're updating the same things in games, but have a bit of variety, you know? Have a bit of variety in your speech, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Anyway, after that, because I'm going on way too much, it really annoyed me. Was something actually really cool that I like, but it was obviously a publicity stunt. So if you know PS4 and Xbox One, they have their own indie services. This is a service that helps indie developers get their games published. And EA is following suit, only 2-3 years late, but called EA Origins. It's a service where they will basically find indie developers similar to what they did last year with Unraveled and try and make those games popular. And they didn't really talk about that much how it worked per se, but it's again not something we really need to know. It's more what the developers need to know. That's kind of what I need to know because I'm a developer, but I don't work for EA, so I don't give a damn. Yeah, no, it's just really cool to see more studios and more more publishers go down this route, because I feel the indie industry is not that strong outside of PC, you know, out of Steam. So having someone like EA do a service like this, which will cater to PC and consoles, as well as get to small-time publishers, small-time studios, some publicity was great. They didn't really talk much about how many studios they had on the program or how many they've targeted already, but they did show one, which was Swinks, I presume it is, but it's like the eyes are one, so I guess they're a fan of Scooby Doo or something. But yeah, this is just their game is called Fe, Fe, kind of like on the table, and it's iron. Not a lot was said about the game, but there was a lot of footage, and it actually looks pretty good. It's very stylistic. It kind of has that unraveled indie feel, and it also has like a 3D platformer feel, like from the N64 era, which is cool. Not really sure what's meant to be going on in the game though. There's bits. So basically, you play a cute little critter, and I guess your goal. This is just from me watching. This is not me saying any details that they've said because they didn't really say anything. Your little critter who goes around, I guess, making sure life prospers in this like not rainforest, but like a forest or natural environment. But then there's these monsters that come to destroy everything, which are clearly meant to be referencing humans. So that's cool. I don't really know how it'll work, but it looks really cool, and it's been a while since a 3D platformer has come out from an official bat source. I mean, there's a lot of Kickstarter stuff, but like this is from a publisher who has put the money and time to help this developer make this 3D platformer. So this is the first in a long time. So I'm really excited to see this. I just wish there was more details, but very pretty, very stylistic. Can't wait for more information. After this, what did they do? I'm sure they did say. Oh yeah, after this they talked about Star Wars games that they're working on. Apparently there's 3 of them. Wouldn't know. Didn't once again give any details. It was like, oh, we're going to show you some behind the scenes stuff, and it wasn't even behind the scenes stuff. It was just like a montage of things. Like, it was just a lot of people who were in the game who were just talking about how they really like the series and they really want to give games that cater to the fans of the Star Wars film series. And it was just like, yes, I've been working in this studio for a long time. I really can't wait to show you guys what we got. But they didn't show anything. It's just like 3 things, and there was actually like 1 or 2 things. But there was like a still of like a AR chess like thing going on, but there wasn't really any deals. But it looked a lot like the Galaxy game that was on mobile last year or whatever, whenever that came out, but on a like AR table like thing, kind of like, I can't remember what it's called, but PS3 had a thing, like Invisibles or whatever. Not Invisibles, that was like PSP, but it was like you would have, you know, that game that you had with the cards and you put them down and then it would be like a game. It kind of felt like that, but with AR. So I'm not sure if they're targeting maybe Microsoft with that, because I know they've got the whole HoloLens thing coming. And then there was a CGI bit where 2 kids pick up a lightsaber and like, whoa, it's a lightsaber. So that's cool. But overall, it's just very disappointing to know that they just said nothing. I think they might have said they're making a Battlefront, but it was hard to tell because it was like they're kind of like saying, oh, we really like Battlefront. We can't wait to show you what we're working on. So I guess they were trying to say that they're working on a Battlefront 2, but that could just be DLC or expansions. But if it is a new Battlefront, it's kind of disappointing because Battlefront obviously has only just come out last year. And to know that they're already working on that one, I'm trying to push another one. I feel that betrays the fans of the original, or the one from last year, not the original, because there's like an original way back. But yeah, it's nice to have new games, you know, but it feels like maybe it's a money grab, you know, that got to get that G, you know. After that was their last announcement. Can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, Battlefield 1. Now, this one actually really amazed me. We already knew it was coming. Whatever. They did trailers. Here's a weird thing though, by the way. So they started out showing this like clip from a teaser of like 10 seconds, maybe 15, give or take. And then they cut out from it, and there was a dude talking on stage, we're really passionate about Battlefront, and we're happy to show you stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, here, watch the whole teaser. and it was the exact same teaser, but it was slightly longer. Like, why show that little clip at the beginning, which they will clearly put there for filling space, I guess. But if you're going to show the whole teaser later, just show the whole teaser and move on. Don't show part of a teaser, cut away, and then show the rest of the teaser later. It just makes no sense. But yeah, after that it was pretty good. They actually showed gameplay, and a lot of it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But there's like this trailer. You get to see like the montage gameplay. It looks really cool. It's a World War One game, which hasn't been done in a while, and I love when there's new things. You know, even though it's been done for, I love new things. Most World War games focus on two. This one focuses on one, World War One, and that's great. And it was just nice seeing the designs of the guns. You know, you got like rifles, you got like S machine guns with like the loads on the side, which hasn't been done in a long time. They're like not MP5s, but like they were like MP40s. No, not MP40s. They're kind of like that. But they just had like curved like ammo on the side, so obviously they were limited on ammo. It wasn't efficient to reload. And some of the cool features, I'm just going to point some out. They've got a dynamic weather system now, so you can start on a sunny day when you start the round, and then later on it'd be raining. And this is cool because they've shown that the gameplay will change with this. This means that the weather, like say if it's raining, your handling on your gun will get bad. So it's harder to combat. Tanks will get stuck in mud and stuff. You know, stuff like that would actually affect in game. Another big feature they also announced was trains, which they didn't really show much of, but they showed like a CGI thing with horses trying to take a train. So I'm not sure if that's like a game mode or something. Maybe like the train's going down, one team's got to defend it, and the other team is like on horses and they have to like hijack it, get on, destroy it, stop it from getting from point A to point B and so on. That would be really cool. And then also in normal matches, there's just a blimp. I don't know what the requirement for getting the blimp is. I presume you just got to get a lot of kills, or maybe it's like saying that unlocks halfway through the game or something. And this is actually really cool because this blimp is completely controllable. It's above the map and it can be shot down. And when it's shot down, it will destroy anything it lands on. And this was one of the coolest things. Like, you would get tons of people shooting that blimp. It will come down in the middle of the map. And, like, even if the middle of the map wasn't destroyed or anything at this point, which is kind of next possible, people destroy stuff anyway, it will just come down and then all the houses would be toppled. And a cool thing I noticed as well is, like, at the front and the back, where I guess the structure isn't that heavy, because most of the structure weight is in the middle, houses would get cut in half, but not completely destroyed. But in the middle, like, all the houses would be completely destroyed. I think this is neat. And there's also, after it's destroyed, it leaves wreckage. So that changes the map as well. It makes it a bit more dynamic, which is cool. So it's really, I think that's going to be like something that people are going to be really excited about if they play their cards right. And it would be cool if there was a mode with blimps, where it's like 2 blimps. Like, that's it, 2 blimps. And then everyone else is just in planes or something. And it's like, it's just a race to see who can take down the other blimp. And then maybe, because I don't think the blimp has too much health, have it so like in this mode they have a bit of extra health and a bit of extra armor or something. So it makes the game longer. But it'd be really cool to just have these air fights. And that's obviously something I'm just speculating on. That isn't something they said they're going to do or anything. But I kind of hope they do a mode like that with what I presume is their train mode as well. Now, again, with the train mode, by the way, I'm just presuming that's what they're going to do. That is not confirmed, but because they only showed like a small CGI thing. After that, the conference ended on it just sort of ended. Really, it didn't really have much of an end. But after the conference, the best thing about the conference for me was the thing that wasn't at the conference, but was streamed via the same stream. Was they got tons of celebrities and YouTube personalities just to talk about the game and play the game live at the show. And we got like 2 hours content of one game of Battlefield, or 3 games overall, but of the game Battlefield 1. And it was just cool to see different people on squads with their own unique gameplay. And there was a lot of popular people there. Like Snoop Dogg was there, which was cool. Terry Crews. Who else? There was the whole Rooster Teeth gang there, or most of them. I saw Gavin, Michael, Bernie. I'm pretty sure I saw Matt, but I'm not certain on that one because it was very far back from the camera. But it looked like Matt, and it looked like it was next to not Bernie, Gavin. So that was cool to see as well. But overall, great conference. Not see what I did there. It's sarcasm. To be honest, a lot of this stuff they could have just shown on the shop floor, the show floor. It was just very disappointing, really. It's like they started kind of strong, I guess. Kind of awkward with like Timefall 2. I mean, it was saying the problem I have with this conference, a lot of the stuff had already leaked. We already knew about half the stuff, and after that, it's not really a lot of excitement. And you could tell this in the crowd. Like no one really cared. It's like Titanfall leaked literally right before the stream with their single player, so everyone knew single player was coming. So it's kind of upsetting, but it's just really a big disappointment, really, for an opening E3 conference. Just really bad, really. I would have preferred if they just talked more about the games that they seem so enthusiastic about in detail. So they're like, oh hey, his Titanfall, no, his FIFA, no, his NFL. How about that one? Because they said nothing on NFL. His NFL. We're happy to announce that we're adding new features like better graphics. We're having more plays integrated in the game, so there's better variety in gameplay. We're going to be adding this really cool audience system, stuff like that, you know. It would be nice if they had stuff like that. Not just, oh yeah, here's a thing. Oh, by the way, we're doing a tournament, but then they show nothing of the game. Which, it just sucks. It just sucks, because you should show the game, not a small pre-rendered trailer, and then just go on about a competition that only a finite of the viewers will care about. Overall, I'm really disappointed in EA. They had a chance. This is really early for them to do an EA conference. They had a chance to open up strong. I feel like they had some of the games which would have helped them if they talked about them, which is upsetting. But I can't wait for the others because I know they're going to be better. So I've already watched the Professor one. I'm going to make a video shortly about that. But yeah, just really cool. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you'll be around to watch my other conferences. I will be doing, I guess, opinion/review of all of them. So far, this is at the bottom of the list, obviously. But thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on my Bethesda conference video later today. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.